and businesses are reopening. We are learning to deal with the virus in a targeted, safe, prevented way. So it's not dependent. All I'm saying is some targeted assistance would go a long way
We're not learning to live with the virus, Larry. We just had 4 days in a row of more than 50,000 infections. The death rate is the highest in the world. But let's focus on the economic aspect, because that's your area of expertise. I guess I
just want to say, Jake, just 1 second. I want to clarify. Living with the virus. Look, 5,000 experts just signed a petition. Led by people from Harvard, Stanford, Oxford University. These are scientists, these are doctors, these are healthcare workers who say we can deal with this virus going on while we're getting new therapies, we're getting new vaccines are coming around. It's not just living with the virus. As long as we protect the most vulnerable, as long as we preserve the key guidelines, yes, we can get through this. We are not going to shut down the whole economy again. There is no reason for that. We will take care of the vulnerable. That's the key point.
Well, there's so much that you just said, but again, I had you on to talk about the economy, not healthcare matters. In terms of obeying by the key guidelines, I mean, you might want to tell the guy in the building behind you, but that's a separate issue.
Jake Tapper couldn't even keep a straight face. That's how absurd of an idea it is that somehow we're living harmoniously with a deadly contagion. I get that Larry Kudlow's entire shtick is to carry water for this president, but despite his rosy picture painting, we've lost 215,000 Americans and continue to lose 1,000 people a day in this country. Schools are closed, businesses are closed, the economy's in shambles, the unemployment rate is twice as high as it was when Trump took office, 11 million Americans have lost their jobs. If you can explain to me how we're apparently making it work with this virus, I'd love to hear it. Kudlow even goes on to cite studies detailing how we can live with the virus as long as we protect the most vulnerable. But here's the thing. First of all, we have no choice but to live with this virus because this administration never bothered to get it under control. They never bothered to coordinate a nationwide testing or contact tracing system, or produce enough PPE, or encourage mask mandates or stay-at-home orders. So living with this virus is our only option here. And second of all, we clearly can't just protect the vulnerable because 1,000 people are dying a day. So it's all well and good that a bunch of scientists from Oxford and Harvard say we can do it, but the reality on the ground is that people are dying, and they're not dying at any less of a rate than they were before. If this administration's ignorance wasn't bad enough, the extent to which they are woefully out of touch makes it all the worse. Kudlow then makes this false equivalency between shutting down the whole economy or not. But no one is looking to shut down the entire economy. No one on the right or the left wants that. What we're looking for, though, are actual steps to ensure that the economy can actually fully reopen. And that's where the Republicans are outright refusing to open their eyes. Part of actually getting this economy going again is taking steps to combat this virus. Because until and unless this virus is contained, nothing will get back to normal. If people are scared of dying, they're not going to go to work. They're not going to send their kids to school. They're not going to go shopping or sit in movie theaters or stand in lines at amusement parks. And that directly impacts our economy, which is why this overall strategy of denialism by the GOP runs completely counter to what their own stated goal is. To be honest, the party that actually stands to benefit from taking swift and strong action to contain this virus is Republicans. They're the ones in the White House. They're the ones in the majority in the Senate. They're the ones running the majority of states in this country. And yet, by refusing to take any meaningful action and instead encouraging this virus to explode throughout the country, they're proving to the American people that they are woefully unprepared and unwilling to contain the spread and ultimately to do what's necessary to save our economy. Why? Because they're more concerned with towing Trump's line than anything else. In his infinite wisdom, Donald Trump decided to politicize masks, to politicize stay-at-home orders, to politicize this virus, and encourage half of this country to be as reckless as humanly possible, even as they themselves were contracting and dying from this virus. Even Donald Trump himself became a symbol of his own mismanagement by contracting it. And despite his poll numbers plummeting, despite seniors and other vulnerable groups abandoning the party in droves, still Trump's fellow Republicans stuck by him because they're more concerned with a mean tweet than they are with protecting their own constituents. So Larry Kudlow and the rest of Trump's sycophants will continue to come on TV and sell you some romanticized version of America, but it bears no resemblance to the country we're living in right now. It's that very denialism that's gotten us here, and it'll only get worse with every single day that Republicans remain in power. If you like this video, please check out my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I take a deep dive into the week's most important stories and interview major players in politics, including Kamala Harris, Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Eric Swalwell, Mary Trump, Al Franken, Cory Booker, and many, many more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.